Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Cami is off tonight. Investigators with the state fire marshal's office are working alongside Shawano authorities to determine the cause of this deadly house fire. Officials say 2 people were inside at the time. Only 1 made it out. Samantha Cavalli brings us the latest details in this First Alert update.
It unfolded in a matter of hours on Shawano's South Union Street. An overnight fire that officials now confirm turned deadly.
One of the occupants inside didn't make it out. The other one, unfortunately, did not.
Firefighters were called to the 600 block of South Union Street just after 2:30 Tuesday morning. Neighbors we spoke with, who didn't want to go on camera, said they woke up to sirens and the smell of smoke.
Engine 112 and all responding units. We are on scene of a 2-story structure. Heavy flames of smoke coming out of the A side of the building.
Battling the fire in below zero temperatures proved to be challenging, making already dangerous conditions even tougher.
We rotate people, but then we also rotate equipment also.
After the fire was under control, officials say 1 adult was found inside and pronounced dead at the scene. By morning, the flames were out, but the home was heavily damaged. You can see extensive fire damage here, with crews still moving in and out of the house during the response. Crews even used a backhoe to pull down sections as they worked hotspots.
We are working with the Shawano PD and the state fire marshals on the investigation.
By walking around and anything, you probably can't say if it's anything like criminal or anything. It's just,
That's all under investigation right now.
The victim's identity has not been released at this time, pending family notification, as the investigation remains ongoing. Reporting in Shawano, Samantha Cavalli, Action 2 News.